Today, we're diving deep into one of the most talked about topics in the UK, salaries. Whether you're negotiating a job offer, planning a career switch, or just curious about how your earnings stack up, understanding the average UK salary in 2025 is crucial. Averages can be misleading though. Therefore, it's important that you truly understand what's behind the numbers. A CEO earning £5 million a year can skew the numbers, making it look like everyone else is rolling in cash. That's why we'll break down not just the mean and median at salaries, but also the top 10 highest paying jobs, how your age impacts earning, the differences between major cities, and where you stand in the national income ladder. Stick around, as by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how the UK pays landscape looks in 2025 and what this means to you. These figures are all based on pay-as-you-earn data. Therefore, self-employed individuals are not taken into consideration. First, let's discuss the differences between mean and median salaries. Typically, when you hear the term average salary, it's usually referring to the mean, i.e. the total earnings of everyone divided by the number of workers. But this number has a flaw. It's usually skewed by those ultra high earners. That's why I often focus on median salaries, which represents the middle point between the top half of the earners and the bottom half of the earners. This therefore gives a clear picture of what a typical worker typically earns per year. In 2025, the UK average salaries are as follows. The mean annual salary for all UK workers is £35,830, and the mean salary for all full-time workers is at £42,210. Then, as you see, the median salaries are actually lower. The median annual salary for all workers in the UK in 2025 is £34,963, and that increases to £37,856 for full-time workers. Part-time roles, gig economy work, and regional disparities do pull the overall median down, especially when you look at all workers. A key takeaway from this section that you should understand is that you should always ask what the average is when you're being quoted. The median is far more representative of the typical worker's experience, as you remove that high end of CEOs that really skew the data. Next, let's talk about the ONS's top 10 highest paying jobs in 2025. Now, let's cut through the noise with the definitive top 10 highest paying roles in the UK for 2025. Sourced exclusively from the Office for National Statistics, also known as the ONS. These roles reflect the median annual earnings for full-time workers. First, we have chief executives and senior officials at £88,956. They typically oversee entire organisations, requiring decades of leadership experience to get here. At number 2, you have marketing, sales and advertising directors at £87,309, and these typically lead high-stake campaigns for Fortune 500 brands, primarily concentrated in London. And then at number 3, you've got IT directors at £86,033. And they typically drive digital transformation in finance and healthcare, with booming demand in Manchester right now. And then at number 4, we've got directors of logistics, warehousing and transportation at £81,422. And they typically manage supply chains for retailers like Tesco's and Amazon. And then at number 5, you've got aircraft pilots and air traffic controllers, earning around £80,414 per year. They typically have senior roles in airlines like British Airways, and they typically dominate this figure. And then at number 6, you've got public relations and communication directors, typically earning around £77,186. And they typically focus on crisis management for FTSE 100 firms, with a 14% salary growth since 2022. And then at number 8, you've got specialist medical practitioners, earning around £74,979. And they're typically NHS consultants on cardiology and oncology, plus private practice uplifts. And then at number 9, you've got functional managers and directors earning around £74,666. And they're typically cross-sector leaders in HR, operations, etc. at multinational firms. And then finally, at number 10, you've got head teachers and principals earning around £71,064. and they typically have senior roles at Ofsted outstanding schools with a London weighting of up to 15%. Next, let's talk about income distribution and where you rank across the UK. Have you ever wondered about how your salary compares to the rest of the UK? Let's now break it down by percentiles, i.e. the income brackets that show where you stand nationally. And again, these are the median averages for all workers according to 2025 data. So first, if you're in the bottom 10% of the nation, you earn less than £9,660 annually. To be in the 30th percentile, i.e. the bottom 30%, you earn less than £22,763 per year. And if you're in the median, i.e. the average salary in the UK, you earn £34,963. To be in the top 10% of the nation, you earn £72,150. The top 5% then earn £87,012 per year. Then the top 1% earns £173,952 per year. This shows that the top 1% earns nearly 5 times the median salary. But reaching this bracket often requires roles in the more elite industries or C-suite positions. That's not just hard work, but requires a bit of luck and strategic career moves to get there. Next, let's talk about age and earnings and where the salaries peak. Next, your age is often a key factor in your earnings potential. Let's see how salaries evolve over a lifetime. So typically for 18 to 21 year olds, they earn around £17,284 per year. Then 22 to 29 year olds earn around £24,600 per year. Then 30 to 39 year olds earn typically £30,865 per year. Then when you're in your key earning years, i.e. you're 40 to 49, you're earning around £33,477 per year. Then when you're 50 to 59, typically you're earning around £31,358 per year. And then when you're 60 plus, you typically earn around £25,916. And you might be thinking, why is there a drop after 50? And this is focused on career shifts and part-time work, reducing this earnings. But workers in that 40 to 49 year old bracket, often in tech or finance, can earn over £40,000 annually, which then boosts that for everyone. Your education also plays a role in these figures. Graduates typically earn 35% more than non-graduates, with STEM fields adding an extra £5,000 per year. Next, where you live can also play a large part on your earnings potential. Have you ever wondered how your salary stacks up across the UK's major cities? Let's break down the 2025 regional pay gaps. And this time, all figures reflect full-time workers only, i.e. career professionals that are clocking over 30 hours per week. According to the ONS in 2025, and this first one probably comes to no surprise to you all, but London leads at 55,200, which is actually nearly double Burnley's 28,900. And then your top 5 cities for earnings are Slough at 52,400, Crawley at 48,700, then Reading at 47,100, Cambridge at 46,800 and Edinburgh at 43,200. And then the 3 lowest cities are in fact Burnley at 28,900, Huddersfield at 29,500 and then Swansea at 30,100. So here's a shocking stat for you. A full-time worker in Slough earns nearly, on average, 23,500 more than someone in Burnley. That's actually enough to buy a small family car every year. And as you're probably well aware, there is a key divide in the UK. The South East full-time wages are typically 45 to 60% higher than northern counterparts. E.g., Birmingham's 35,600 versus London's 55,200. So, location still dictates pay, but full-time professionals in northern tech hubs like Manchester are earning £41,800, and they are closing the gap, which has been contributed by hybrid working. Next, let's discuss what's actually driving salary growth in 2025. as you're aware, salaries don't rise in vacuums. Here are the 4 key factors shaping pay in 2025. And the first one is inflation and cost of living. With core inflation at 3.7%, employers are raising wages to retain staff in high-cost areas such as London. Then number 2, you've got the national living wage increases. April 2025's 6.7% to £12.21 per hour boosts entry-level pay. And then number 3, you've got skills shortages driving up wages. In particular, tech and healthcare have seen around 4.25 to 6% push in salaries in the last year. And then at number 4, you've got remote work, i.e. hybrid roles, now accounting for 40% of postings. This is actually adjusting locational pay and then pushing wages up nationwide. Finally, let's discuss the average wage increases in the public versus private sector last year. Private sector wages grew by 6% in 2024, outpacing the public sector's 4.1% increase. So my final tip is to use the ONS's annual survey of hours and earnings to benchmark your role. And if you are negotiating a raise, cite these stats as they are your best ammunition. If you found this video useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends as it really helps the channel to grow. Hopefully see you next time. Ta-ra.